Okay, I believe I'm on air. Hello, thank you all for attending. Today, I am not going to talk about the Karmapa. I'm going to talk mainly about the process of redemption, the science of redemption. And there's an influence of how Buddhism works. Because Sakyamuni 2,500 years ago taught, and a lot of it was very new, so it was very much important that people wrote down what he said and listened to what he said and didn't misinterpret it and was able to put it into use. And over the 2,500 years, through recapitulation of masters who have been with Sakyamuni, those teachings have been able to stay pretty clear. So it's made a really great influence on the ability for people to understand the path or the teachings that Buddha gave. But my teaching has to do with emphasizing the recapitulation of those teachings. So for 2,500 years, those teachings have been on earth, and they've been practiced, and by many nations all around the world. Many governments, many things have been initiated in change to the good because of Buddhism. It's not a religion. It's thought of more as a science, more as a philosophy, more as a psychology, more as an interpretation of life or evolution. And it has a very high order of focus on helping a person to attain right view, and in doing so, it allows us to move forward quickly, and get things done in a way that in the future, we're not learning from our mistake. We're appreciating the fact that we were guided, and few mistakes are made in the process of inspiration and influence of the Holy Spirit. And in Buddhism, it's a practice of a science to initiate that interaction. So that the Holy Spirit will move you, that the Word of God, you will hear it inside as your own conscience, as your own guidance, as your own bodhisattva. But in my work, it's about recapitulation. So since I'm the reincarnation of all the Buddhas, then my influence of my being here has an influence of spontaneously helping to recapitulate people in a way that goes beyond physical teaching, personal teaching, but it requires personal teaching. It requires me to instruct every single thing. Nobody's in between, not one person. Nobody goes, well, this is him doing it. This is influence. No, it's not true. Because in my influence, it's very, very different. You look at Shambhala, you look at the making of my tools, you listen to my music, my way of doing a puja, and how that interaction all works together as a system. As a whole system, as a lifestyle, as something that I do personally, and I do in heaven. And I don't just do it here. I do it all the time. It's just the way I think. And it's how the solar system was created. It's how the cosmos became what it is. Everything is what it is. But it's not because anybody gives me an idea or impresses upon me that maybe we should go this direction or that direction. The influence is 100% Buddha. So that influence has to do more with the cosmic influence of being able to instill a teaching that overshadows a person, rather than require a person to study and do specific things, because I will actually do the studying for them. I'm Buddha. So with me comes wisdom. Now, with anybody else, you don't get wisdom. you get challenge. Yeah, they're going to only deal with you on an intellectual way. And you're going to have to prove yourself, right or wrong. You're competing. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you think, whether it's choosing food, how the food's to be made, whether it's anything, everybody's got a personality perception, yeah, in that relationship. But as Buddha, I don't have that. Yeah, as Buddha, I have a relationship of having a soul. Yeah, and that soul is the reincarnation of the avatar. And that avatar is singular. Yeah, it's like a billion faces on one person. Yeah, and it just is that one person. Yeah, because it's a Buddha, it is self-realized, and every single one of those faces are realized. They're not lost in a mist someplace like everybody else. Everybody else is lost in a mist. They don't even have their true self at all. Nothing's connected. Yeah. So I'm that opportunity to have people interconnect with what has happened, what is happening, and what's going to happen. Yeah. Because I'm that person. I have an omnipresence. I have an omniscience. I have an omniessence. Yeah. It's my being. It's what I do. Because I'm mainly second ray. Mainly the Vishnu quality, the influence of all these multiple bodies, like Avalokitesvara. Yeah, an influence of multiple, beyond anybody's imagination of how many incarnations of manifestation come with that being. Yeah, and all of them work within a synthesized consciousness simultaneously at the same time. Yeah, none of them are separate. None of them doing anything separate on their own. All of them, every single one of them, doing the same dance, the same song, everything. It's just that it's in everything. It's everywhere, past, present, and future. Yeah, and that's what that true soul is like. Everybody has that connection. They have that connection. You have a connection with your past, your present, and your future only if you're harmless. Then you have an etheric field. You have an etheric body. Yeah. And if you have an etheric body, it stores your soul. It stores it. It has wisdom. Yeah. It has the Holy Spirit. It has all these things that come generating through the monad of God. And it generates into your soul. Yeah. And it manifests in 7 rays, and it manifests in 7 different qualities. But all of them come out of the one soul of the planetary logos. Yeah. So all of that influence is redemption. It's not about teaching. Yeah. It's about healing the etheric field. And I'm the only one that can do that. Yeah. It's hundreds of years in the future before you're going to get to a science where you're going to go, and you're going to see the lines of influence in the body that are etheric. Yeah. They won't even show themselves right now because the person isn't radiating. Yeah? In order for there to be an etheric field, you have to radiate. If you don't, it becomes immaterial. It dies. It is not vitalized. And it just degenerates. Everything degenerates. But there's magic behind the etheric field. The etheric field has the imprint of every single thing. It's like the matrix of everything. Yeah? Whatever you are, you have that imperfection in the etheric field. So you can use the etheric field to build your body. Yeah? That's how a flower becomes a flower. Not a different flower, but that one flower. Because it has an etheric field. And there's nothing it's doing that's not working with that etheric field. Yeah? Because Buddha nature is constantly fulfilling the relationship of life on earth. Yeah, not just the sun, but it requires the Holy Spirit and the 7 rays, and the influence of those 7 rays manifesting through a spiritual force to make these trees what they are. Yeah, it's more than the sun. Yeah, it's way much more than the sun. Yeah, and that's where the etheric field comes in. It's thought form building. It comes from the thought form of Buddha. It's a part of imagination. But it's like in everybody's case, you see what you want to see. Yeah? Well, Buddha just has a clear field. He sees what he creates. Does that make sense? Yeah? And since Buddha is not uncreating, but always creating, yeah, then there's constant change. Yeah? And it is, as Buddha becomes more in that place where humanity is awake, that change becomes redemption. Yeah? And rather than teaching or education, follow a Bible, follow a fanaticism, join a church, things like that. As time goes on, my form of doing what I do will come when people enter a retreat center or soul therapy or come across someone with a weaver, just a spontaneous interaction of relationship, yeah, that allows people to just interact and open up the etheric field. And the etheric field is what creates relationships. Yeah, there are really bad relationships, that's done astrally. Yeah, there's really good relationships, that's done harmonically, and that's done through the etheric field. So you're in the right place at the right time with the right people because of the etheric field. Does that make sense? Yeah, and you can't tweak anything. You can't say the right ohms. You can't pay the right guru, to get your etheric field. Yeah, you got to cooperate with the influence of love that creates the thought form, and not focus on the astral plane of negativity that also creates a thought form. And that destroys the etheric field, creates an astral body. Yeah, and then you just can't trust anybody because it has no wisdom inside that astral body. It's all intellectual, electrical bullshit. Very scary. Yeah, because it has doom. Yeah, if you're anywhere near psychic, you almost know when you're going to die. And you're close to it quite often. You just kind of just miss that bullet. Does it make sense? Could have got on that plane with that person, with that hepatitis, with that. But just missed that one. So many things could take your life in a day. Yeah. And that hits us psychically. And if we don't have an etheric field, if we're not balanced in the etheric field, then we're constantly hit by really negative astral stuff that we have to avoid. Yeah? And all we have to do in ourselves is feel nervous, upset, crazy. Yeah? And it moves us enough to try and keep us from doing harm to ourselves. It shouldn't work that way. That's a very twisted, imperiled sensitivity, but it's still there. Yeah, so the etheric weaver allows a person to slow that vibration down. Yeah, and then speed up another vibration, which is the etheric field, filled with light. And that comes in and calms the person down, just automatically. Sends a natural calming influence in the person. That redeems the person from making more karma right then and there. Yeah? Just by pulling out the etheric weaver, doing any of the things that I provide, they are a protective science that allows people to not keep the rents open in their etheric field. The rents will close. And if you're really blessed, they'll close in a lifetime. Yeah. You'll work off all your relationships. Yeah? No matter who went harm to you, no matter where you were born, no matter what your circumstance was, all of those things could be cleared, yeah, before you leave your body. Almost like a plan. God's so intent on helping you that God will walk you through your entire life like Scrooge. Yeah? Yeah, there's easier ways. Yeah, easier ways. Yeah, because it could be Scrooge one life after another, after another, after another, after another. Yeah, because there's no guarantee you're going to be giving away food after the end of the Scrooge period. Yeah. So the key is to make sure that we help people as much as we can, because that's the test in the process of the etheric field. The etheric field stops people from having empathy and compassion. And empathy and compassion has to do with whether or not a person thinks outside themselves. Yeah, just naturally. Yeah, and it's not like you want to, oh, I gotta go do all these things for other people. That's not really thinking outside yourself. It's whether or not you can respond in a moment and not think about yourself. Not thinking about yourself. Yeah, that in itself is helping someone else. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, because it literally shuts down that astral negative aura building process. It allows you to become sensitive. And when you are required to help, you become irritated. Yeah, does that make sense? If you don't shut this down. Yeah, so it's all, the opportunity to help is going to come all your life. So make it easy, or it's going to be like Scrooge. Yeah, because all Scrooge was doing is telling you, you gotta give, gotta share, you gotta care. That kid's on a, poor family. You can't keep the dad working all night long, give him nothing to go home with. Yeah, bad story, little tiny Tim. Yeah, bad story, but it's so true. So commonly true. Yeah, and we can fix all of that. Yeah, just by having the ability to respond. And you can't have the ability to respond if you're thinking about yourself in a negative way. If you think about yourself in a positive way, you will have the ability to respond. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking better. Oh, I'm having a better day. Oh, that was nice. Anything you could do to move it in that direction. Go water flowers, go anything. Yeah, to move the mind in that direction allows you to be in right relationship in the moment, because the moment is here for service. That's what your soul is. Your soul is always going to be a wise, operating, loving, kind, caring, good old person. The one everybody's attracted to. So the more soul you got, the more you're going to be requested to be of service. And you're going to have to lend wisdom. Wisdom's not easy to come by. And wisdom only comes if a person can calm down and have understanding. Because the answer's right before you. If the door is locked, then you need to figure out how to unlock it. You don't need to invent a new door. Yeah? This makes sense. A crazy person will go ahead and start working on inventing a new door. Or dig underneath the whole thing. Come up under the floor. Just all kinds of crazy ass things. Yeah? Well, all you got to do is just either go forwards or go backwards. You either take the lock off or you fix the lock, replace the lock. It's common sense. That's where wisdom sits. Yeah, in understanding. You got to calm down, and the answer's right in front of you. Does that make sense? Yeah? But if you don't calm down, the answer will be hidden from you. And nobody's out for you. Not you, not anybody. It's an elemental thing. Yeah? And if you're a pretty spiritual person, they really like to mess with you. Lost keys, lost shoes, out of time, anything. It's all part of the elements from your sacral center down. Yeah. So any time these influences move, you're using the etheric field. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. So in Buddhism, of Maitreya Buddhism, the main teaching is to know that everybody's already taking the teachings from Jesus and from Buddha. Yeah? And that it's been instilled into nations and companies so we don't have tyrants anymore. Yeah? That's the only reason why we don't. Yeah? It's the only reason why people have a bit of a soul, and it's coming out the way it is. Yeah. So the more we realize that, the more we move toward a relationship of emphasizing our own calmness. Yeah. And that calmness is what moves people toward right relationship. Yeah. So anytime that we can hand a person an etheric weaver, or openly wear a solar form, yeah, it changes the whole restaurant. Yeah. From the moment you walk in, it changes the bank, the restaurant, the theater, anywhere you walk in. Yeah. You're carrying divinity openly. Yeah. And you're willing to be in your own place. Your astral body is willing to be asked a question. Yeah. Yeah. And that requires wisdom, calmness. Yeah. Sincerity and clarity. Yeah. You got to be in the body, you got to calm yourself down. You can't get all fanatic. Yeah, Jesus Christ, you got to go, Yeah. You got to appreciate the fact that the person is connecting to radiance. Yeah. And the more calm you get, the more it radiates. The more freaked out you get, the more they get freaked out. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because the opportunity is that I give people the opportunity to see a solar form. Yeah, that opens up spiritual influences between people. Yeah, they have no idea why. They're just going, what is that has so much energy? That's so beautiful. Who made that? Where does that come from? Yeah, carry a Vajra, it really drives them nuts. Yeah, pull out a big 7-inch etheric weaver, it's just like, holy shit. You're changing everything. Yeah. So most people carry about a 3-inch or a 1.5-inch because they can hide it, like this, down like that, which is a good idea, yeah, because it's good just to, if you want to weave, just do it like that. But the main thing is that if people do see and experience and feel, the process, that's where things change. Yeah, because there's an automatic process where we're so sixth ray, we do not know how to relate to each other. Yeah, I mean, we should be happy to know each other. Yeah, because we're all, we've like been cousins and aunts and everything. It's like hard not to, but when you're not this way, when you're not connected like what I'm saying, then there's this mist, and there's no connection between people. Could have been your ex-husband. Yeah? Now, that could have been bad, could have been good, but hey. Yeah? But the main thing is that every single person, if we're from our second ray, we have a radiatory influence of drawing right relationship. It's magic. And when we do that, we draw out of people impurities. Yeah? And they likely are pretty impure in this life, and all kinds of different in how they think they are, their sex and all that, because the seventh ray is so twisted. The sacral center, right relationship. Yeah? So it's all really going to have to be healed from the heart, not from how we feel about or think about another person, whether they're gay or whether they're this or that. It can't be there. You can't do that. Yeah? We have to be in a place where we're heart to heart. And that's hard. That's really hard. Myself as Buddha, I'm able to be heart to heart, but I'm able to be completely detached. I don't have to hug anybody. That doesn't mean I'm not heart to heart. I just say I'm good. I'm good. I don't need a hug. Thank you very much. Yeah? Because it's not necessary. That's 2/6 ray. It's just really improper. If you really want it, then you'll do it because it's what you want to do. But it's not like you just do it because we hug. Yeah? Yeah? Even a handshake. Unless you're going to wipe that sucker and clean it off really good, it's probably not the best idea in the world. Yeah? So I'm not there for that either. And I don't go, and I've had a lot of people do that to me. And I'm just like, oh, okay, oh, hey. Really. Yeah, high fives. No, not really. I haven't done a high five or jumped up and done a high five or anything like that. Yeah. It's not heart. Yeah. I mean, heart's heart. Heart's when you can look at a person in the eyes. Yeah. You're not looking at their body. You're not looking at their color. You're not looking at their this and that. You're looking in their eyes. Yeah, because you can't help it. Yeah. You're not looking at their mouth. Most people look at people's mouths because they don't like to look in their eyes. Yeah. But it is difficult because the seventh ray has such a strong, loving way of connecting to people. It could be shaky. You can fall in love immediately. Yeah. Yeah. You just have to control yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because we're just not used to having a heart-to-heart anything. Yeah. And when you start off with the eyes, it's so intimate. It's so pure. It's so loving. You can just go right in there, and you can feel the person, yeah? You can sense the person's conversation, yeah? Then when they talk, it's exactly how you feel they are, yeah? Because you looked in their eyes. There's nothing shaky about what's going on. But if you're not doing that, then everything is a little bit shaky. Because you're looking at and you're having all kinds of sixth ray, fifth ray, lower sacral, non-intimate reactions. Yeah, and we're here to be intimate. Yeah, not like huggy, not like jump in bed, but intimate. Like be able to say hi. And mean it. I love going to restaurants. I love meeting new people. I am the most outgoing person you'll ever meet. Yeah, hi, how you doing? I make friends, all that. It's nothing to me. It's not like I'm making friends. But people think, well, you're making, no, I don't ask for numbers, I don't make friends, but I do, yeah, because I'm very, very, very friendly. Yeah, and that's where Buddhism comes in. That's how you could test whether or not you are regulating your ability to respond and not coming from the sixth ray. Yeah, you got to do everything you can to love unconditionally, no matter what the scene is. You got to cut through it and be able to look in a person's eyes and let go of your anger. Yeah, because it's not that person that you're angry at. It doesn't matter what they're saying to you. There's something evil, yeah, that is in the astral body that's keeping everybody apart, yeah. And if we don't look it in each other's eyes, yeah, then we can't take the bodhisattva vow. Does that make sense? Yeah. I mean, you got to be able to feel so good about yourself. You can't really look in another person's eyes if you're tearing yourself down. You know what I mean? You're thinking you're debating quickly before they ever speak. So the only way that it is possible is through Buddha. And Buddha radiates the seven rays that allows people to slowly but surely evolve. And then as I'm teaching and I say, okay, now really what you should be doing is try looking in people's eyes. Yeah. Try opening up to people. Yeah. Without getting stuck. Yeah. Because the sixth ray gets in the way. Your intellect gets in the way. All of a sudden, these crazy people out there, they're just going, oh, you must be my soulmate. Holy shit, I'm just looking in your eyes. You probably think your dog's your soulmate too. Yeah. I mean, we're all soulmates. We all have souls. Yeah. We all relate in a loving way. Yeah. And if you study the second ray, the conditions of love are very different than the sixth ray. You can look at a person and not get stuck with hooks. Other people, they will judge you and go, well, you must be, you're very flirtatious, so therefore you must have these kind of behavioral outcomes in your life. Not necessarily. Not in bodhisattva, Buddha qualities. You burn that stuff up, by your fire that is real love. Yeah. When you're looking at a person, you're burning up their impurities just simply by not judging them, getting to know them, being their friend in that moment. Help them take that check. Help them remember. I have people, they write down or don't write down what it is I ask for, and I just go, wow, that's really great. You did a great job, and then every time they come and bring it, oh, that's really good, And if they do wrong, oh, that really sucks, that burnt, that tasted terrible, and to be totally honest, whichever way it goes, just be totally honest, yeah? And the person feels so much love from that. Yeah, that's where love is. Yeah. So if you're practicing bodhisattva and want to attain bodhisattva qualities, you have to be able to express yourself, and you have to make sure that you're never expressing anything negative mentally, emotionally, or physically towards yourself. Because you just imagine in bodhisattva belief, we believe thought form building builds our etheric body. We could live forever. We don't choose whether we live forever. It's just that the law says we can live a lot longer than we are if we choose not to be harmful and take an enlightened path. Yeah? So there's influences in the process of regeneration and using the etheric field, and very few people have ever come into that life. And that's what I believe Maitreya Buddhism is for, is longevity. The increasing life of humanity. And it's going to happen because of my vitality. The kind of influence that I put out into the world is regenerative. Yeah, it's beyond regenerative. Yeah, it's redemptive, regenerative. Yeah, it allows you to become receptive. Yeah. Which is what normally doesn't happen. You got to go to school, you got to break down your habits, you got to get all this stuff out of the way. But I actually overshadow a person to make them receptive. Yeah? And then the energy just comes into them without them knowing it. Yeah? So I offer them these pyramids. Yeah? Increasingly makes them more receptive. Yeah? One side of them is thinking, oh great, I get a pyramid. Yeah, but in reality, it's personal planetary healing. There's no disconnection in it. Yeah, you're learning to be more receptive, and you're becoming more radiatory. Yeah, so all of it is a science that absolutely requires humanity to be a part of it. Yeah, for it to work. I'm not the kind of a messiah that humanity thinks a messiah is. A single-handed messiah that just sits there and radiates, and everybody else just runs around and does what they want to do without making any changes in their lives in order to help incorporate the healing. Yeah, because you can antidote. Yeah, you can counteract. Yeah, you can dispel, and you can imperil. Yeah, so there's so many things you can do that can stop the light of evolution. Yeah, so it's the key is to not. I'm providing everything in a spontaneous way, so I'm not hitting any of your lower centers in the process. I'm not building a big church saying you got to join this club or something, and I'm not doing this or that. Yeah, I'm mainly allowing people to go in and be blessed and receive transmissions of blessings that's happening to me. And I'm telling people the truth about the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Yeah. And as all these enthronements take place, those are empowerments for me, but as a Buddha, that means they're empowerments for humanity, because I don't receive those empowerments. I give them. Does that make sense? Yeah? So imagine if I'm the one getting this transmission and getting into those positions, the magnitude of empowerments that's going back out to humanity is beyond your wildest imagination. Because it means it's disempowering all the evil forces that would be holding humanity back from receiving these empowerments. Now, and all that would mean is that I would never be allowed to receive my empowerments. Does that make sense? Because that's happened in many lives. Yeah. Where in this one, they came to pick me up at 9 years old. That means all of you started getting empowerments way before I was 9 years old. And the world was heavily moved by the transmission of the hierarchy knowing that I'm here and blessing that process. Yeah. So that's moved through everything, stopping Vietnam, moving everything. Yeah. So putting these etheric weavers out is a movement in humanity that moves us toward a new future that will be something more completely normal, but comes from the past. Like the pyramids in the past, the pyramids of the American Indians, those technologies that come out of nature that are energetic and vitality, yeah, those will surface again. Yeah. And those are only going to surface simply because I'm helping people recapitulate the direction in which they need to remember to recapitulate. Yeah? Because we've all done really good in the past, but nobody can remember. Yeah? But through recapitulation, we can all remember through our desire body. Yeah? Because the desire body has a reflective relationship to the past, just like if someone hands me 5 different dorjes, but one of those is my dorje. Well, that one dorje is going to reflect to me. Yeah, that's going to be my recapitulation. Yeah, and it's the same with everybody else. So if I put out all this stuff, it's everybody's dorjes, everybody's influence. And as the present comes forward and the future is unfolding, it's going to use all the past of every time we've ever made a good decision to build these cities. Make sense? Spiritual cities, pyramid cities, monasteries, things like that. Yeah. So all of that comes back into our recapitulation. So I'm going to show you a video with a slideshow of a really sweet slideshow, a bunch of kids. So, I think that was cool. So if you think about that, just think about it. The work of Buddha Maitreya is the work of Buddha's activity. Yeah. And my activity is unlike anybody else's activity. It's synthesized. It synthesizes all the teachings of all spirituality, of every avatar that's ever been given, is synthesized in my teaching, in my actions, in my work, yeah, in everything that I do, in the name of Shambhala, the names of the tools, all of my pujas. Yeah. So if you listen to the puja like you did here, and you watch this video go by, your mind just goes, well, that's exactly what he's saying. You know, all the angels, and then these forms, and these people, and these aren't, because they're holding the forms, they're not regular people anymore. Even as monks, now they're holy monks, because they're actually holding a Vajra. Makes a big difference in that person. Every single one of those high masters, you see them holding on to that Vajra, offering it to show you, their respect for the influence, because it goes all the way to the highest teaching to them. This is created by Vajradhara himself. He handed this to me. He made it. In their mind, they're thinking this is Buddha's activity. No other human being on earth is doing this activity. This is his activity. Yeah. So the blessing cannot be eschewed. It can't be mistranslated. It can't be, this person's second in line. They're just as good at transmission or anything like that. There's no such reality. Yeah. Because it is all within the activity. That includes the emanations, the manifestations, the ability for people to attain any bodhisattva comes within the activity. Yeah, it comes in the body of the Buddha, it comes in the activity and the actions, and all the work makes that possible. Yeah. So I'm going to do an invocation, the invocation, evocation. I'm going to do one puja, and I think, let's see. Oops. Went away. Just a second. All right. So let's do the invocation. Can that fan be turned on over there? Anybody? Just turn it on. Let air move in here. There you go. Great. That should help. All right. Okay, just repeat after me. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad. To guide me into the right activity in the plan. To clarify and stimulate my mind. To transform and transmute my feelings and emotions. To energize and vitalize and heal my physical and etheric body. So there is a normal flow of energy in my physical and etheric body. Through this day and every day, I ask this in the name of the Christ, to serve the One. All in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
On the way of love. I do not walk alone, but I know myself as one with all great souls, and one with them in service. Their strength is mine. This strength I claim. My strength is theirs, and this I freely give. A soul, I walk on earth. I represent the One. The will of God moves the world. The past has gone. I am that past. It makes me what I am. The future comes. I also am the coming destiny, and therefore I am that. The present flows from out the past. The future colors that which is. I make the future also by my present knowledge of the past and the beauty of the present. And therefore I am that I am. the circle of the will of God I stand. Without the radius of the world of glamour, I take my place, and there I stand. Before the open door that just reveals a different lighted way, I take my stand. Before the presence, I will take my place, and there will firmly stand. And stand I see. Love is the incentive of our aspiration on the path. Love is the substance of our living in the world. Love is the light and the light of freedom from all creatures. Love pulses through the universe in a divine rhythm. Love is the consciousness of God. May the holy ones whose disciple I am show me the light I seek. May all mankind, may all humanity of all knowledge, may all light on earth make manifest the soul in all things, all life. I invoke the radiant golden sun to manifest the thread of the soul into the kingdoms of the elementals, into the kingdoms of the vegetables, the animals, into the astral plane. I invoke all humanity to become the caretakers of the kingdom of God. I invoke the will of God as the soul. I stand before the judgment seat of my soul. I am that soul. All love and light am I. I serve the world and lose myself in service. This is my life, and this is the way that I will tread until the day be with us all. invoke the awakening in the consciousness of humanity, the family of humanity, to bring forth points of energy within themselves, inaugurating certain new techniques in work and in modes of communication. I invoke the group of telepathic communicators. I invoke the group of trained observers. I invoke the group of magnetic healers. I invoke the group of the educators of this new age. I invoke the group of political organizers. I invoke the group of the workers in the field of religion. I invoke the group of scientific servers. I invoke the group of psychologists. I invoke the group of financiers and economists. I invoke all creative workers as the new group. I invoke the externalization of the inner existing of conditions within these groups through the manifestation and the externalization of the avatar.
I know His life is love.
and its loving light. I am the self, whose quality is love. I am the life of God Himself. The Mother, Father, Son, am I. Behind these three stands the unknown God. That God am I. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of mankind. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of mankind. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men and women, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, we call the race of mankind. Let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. I call upon the one most high God. To let the disciple know the nature of his Lord of love. Seven, the aspects of love of God. Seven, the colors of the manifesting one. Sevenfold, the work. Seven, the energies. And sevenfold, the path back to the center of peace. Let the disciple live in love, and love in life. The soul is the Son of God, the product of the union of spirit and matter. The soul is an embodiment of consciousness of mind, the expression intelligent awareness. The soul is a unity of energy, vibrating in unison with one of the 7 ray lives, and colored by a particular ray of light. The personality of the soul is the embodiment of love, applied intelligently, producing an attractive form, which will serve to express that loving intelligence. The soul is intended to be the embodiment of divine purpose, applied in great active creativity, which produces the power of creative love. We are born of the love of Father for the Mother, of the desire of life for form. Express the love, the magnetic attractiveness of God's nature, and the responsiveness of form nature. And the I am consciousness itself of the awareness of deity in life.
Okay, just relax. Just open your eyes. So there's an influence when the etheric body is activated and functioning, and it only happens through harmlessness. So it doesn't happen all the time because we're not always harmless. Yeah. So if we are, it generates and builds up. So in my case, I radiate an enormous amount of heat. Yeah. I build body heat inside of me because I'm an etheric manufacturer. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's what I do. Yeah. So as Buddha, I'm kind of like an archetypal kind of process. Yeah. And it's healing the planet. Yeah. Just in that process. Yeah. And as everybody else awakens that and has healed that etheric field, and I've healed it, but now they can start healing it themselves. Yeah, they can take care of far less impurities because I've taken 9/10 of them away. You know, so it's a lot easier for them to maintain a balanced day-to-day life. Yeah, and be able to regulate the vibration that's in their body so that they're not devitalizing all the time with negative thoughts, because that's where the renting takes place. That's where the charge of energy goes the wrong way. But if it really is in a high compassionate place, if you're soulful in yourself, and that soul energy in itself works on fire. It only works on the fire. It doesn't. There's nothing else going on other than fire. That fire is what brings life. Yeah. So people with souls are healers. Yeah. They ignite other people to change. Yeah. Dramatically. Yeah. And they satisfy things inside of people that takes the place of the desire body. Yeah. It allows the influence of what is of a person's true self, good qualities, characteristics, all those things have value. Yeah. And in a process where we have all these energies in a negative way, then all those great potentials that have value, are in a state of inertia. So we don't experience their value. We don't experience what can come from that. And what really comes from it is the fire that comes out of the etheric field. And it comes out of your calm, patient, loving, kind, regenerative characteristics. Yeah, they're consistent. That's how regeneration takes place. You wake up one morning, you wake up the next morning, you wake up the next morning, and every morning you seem to be a happier person. Yeah, you seem to be less impure. Yeah, it's easier to be happy, easier to have vitality to get out of bed. Even if you're sore, even if you're drained, there's enough vitality, fire, that's in the person that brings them to a place to where they're regenerating that day rather than degenerating that day, even though it could be a hard day. But it's the etheric body, it's the etheric field that literally has a fire built within it to take care of what it is you're going to have going on today. And it has more if you are caring and considerate and doing all the right things that are your opportunities in that day. Now you're a generator. You've been given enough to regenerate throughout the day without any negative outcomes. That's mainly because you're blessed. But if you use that to right relationship, then you increase the fire within yourself, and you increase a fire inside of other people that alters the way that we see things. It alters whether or not thought form building that's actually coming from me, is able to penetrate inside of humanity and allow humanity to release from dogmatic, demonic spirits that are fame and fortune and different characteristics that have value. So my influence, I don't do anything to devalue all those things. I just tell the truth about them. But it's the radiating of light and the creating of soul that creates a fire that actually goes in and redeems people from having a relationship with lunar lords. It burns off that connection. It burns off the rent that's inside of you. So there's a really big potential process inside of humanity as humanity starts moving toward doing things like meditation and more spirituality. The more they move in that direction and they have an understanding of that direction, and the more I surface in that direction, and people have less confusion about that due to a lack of fanaticism, because it's that solar plex overactive, emotional, mental solar plex that keeps my teaching from manifesting wisdom and a calm attitude of taking care of things the way they're meant to be taken care of. There's a whole way that things are done, and it's a natural way, but it doesn't work from fire that's the wrong kind of fire. Because there's another kind of fire that's the desire body, and it emphasizes fault, and it builds more fire in people to make them more angry and to make them more suspicious, and it burns up their soulful characteristics. Yeah, the influences of whatever it is that they've got growing in them, instead of having their prana coming into their body from calmness and peace and good fortune and merit. Yeah. Instead, that other fire is building up and it's creating an electricity that creates anxiety and suspicion, neurotic compulsive behaviors, all kinds of things that manifest in the lower mind through the body. Yeah, because the body's a whole mind. Yeah, you have a brain down here, you got a brain up here, you got brain all over the body. Yeah, and the problem is that it can be programmed, and most of it is shut down. So you only use just a small portion of this brain up here, and not the whole body's brain. And if we're awake and using right relationship, then our whole body becomes a telepathic antenna of intuition and sensitivity, and we're wiser. We're whole. Yeah. We're not limited to just, a portion of our brain, because we don't know how much brain we got and where it's located. Yeah. Because the truth is that it's located in the intestines, and it's located in the stomach, and it's located in the brain. Yeah. It's located all throughout the body. Yeah. So the more that people find out about it, they find out that the body is the etheric field, and it's interconnected, and that the whole body is a brain. That everything is interconnected with communication. Yeah? And it's not just a bunch of wires. It's actually an etheric field. And the more that that is working properly, the whole body regenerates, because it listens to what it is you say, and what you think, how you feel. Yeah? It has a reactive response. Things move accordingly. Yeah? It's not limited by the way in which we, in our limited mind, hold back negativity and have limitation in outcome. Yeah, because we think we're in charge. Yeah, that's the biggest dilemma in the phenomenon of Buddhism. Is that in Buddhism, we're doing everything we can to let go of that one thing, so we can allow what it is that is in charge to be the phenomenon of regeneration and enlightenment. Yeah, rather than ignorance and degeneration and death. Yeah. Alrighty, so enjoy.